Hey guys, before we get into this, I want everyone to go down, hit that like button. It really helps the algorithm and helps push the channel. If you're already subscribed, share your comments on this and pretty much everything else that we cover, or just share it out to a friend, anything helps. Hope everyone enjoys the video. Let's get into it. What's up guys? Today we're going to be talking about American Horror Story Season 11, or more specifically, a pitch that I would love to see in a future American Horror Story season, be it 11, 12, 13, you get the deal. And honestly, I feel like this story would work gangbusters because it has been something that has been building over the last couple of years.
To reflect who we are and what we hope to build, I am proud to announce that starting today, our company is now Meta.
Yeah. The world's biggest supervillain outside of Jeff Bezos has kind of made this more of a reality than it was even just a year ago, hasn't he? Quite frankly, I can understand why some people might be a little bit apprehensive about this storyline taking up an entire season of a horror anthology series. Although I would say that if you hold that opinion, you don't see the abstract horror that is the metaverse. Ever since Facebook changed its name, Mark Zuckerberg has gone on record that he wants as many people as possible to be experiencing the metaverse. And even though the company itself has lost a substantial amount of money in stocks ever since this announcement, and at least initially it seems like the overall response to the metaverse in general is lackluster, it is worth pointing out that they're not the only ones pushing for it. We already know that Walmart is staking its claim by offering virtual currencies and NFTs, while companies like Gucci and Nike are making NFT clothing to be bought and worn exclusively within the metaverse. That's not even to mention Microsoft's push by buying Activision to make them a big player in gaming within the metaverse here in the next couple of years. You see, the thing that really scares me about this is that these billion-dollar companies are acting like this is going to be the future, and they're the ones who generally push cultural perception. I think a lot of people are pushing off the concept of the metaverse right now because they haven't really figured out a way to define it or even visualize it to a point where it's realistic and people want to be walking around like that every single day of their lives. I mean, generally every single time that you experience it or you watch it on screen, the person has a literal brick on their face.
Damn. The whole thing was just a virtual reality experience.
But that cumbersome technology isn't going to be around forever, and there's going to be a different way to experience the metaverse in our day-to-day lives. As I've already shown you, some of the biggest companies in the world are already pivoting towards an inevitable future where we're experiencing the metaverse in our everyday lives. And one of the more specific ways they're trying to profit off of it is they're going to be selling us NFTs and various other things that we can buy and only use in the metaverse but don't really own for real. The very concept of a future where every single one of our day-to-day interactions with other people are draped in virtual reality, with every single one of us dressed in clothes that we do not own, living in virtual property filled with items that aren't there, and probably more realistically based off of everything that has been happening over the last couple years, the idea that you're going to have to pay on a monthly basis for the continued privilege to use those items because you don't own it. The company does, and they can take it away whenever they want. Now, I don't know about you, but that sounds horrifying to me. I don't know. American Horror Story has dealt with zombies, witches, warlocks, vampires, aliens, Donald Trump, everything that could be scary under the sun. And quite frankly, I can't imagine a pitch like this being a little bit too grounded for American Horror Story to really focus on, but I would really like to see them explore this idea. The concept of focusing on characters who grew up or people who didn't grow up in this new digital age, having to deal with what the metaverse has done to society as a whole. The concept of not owning anything anymore. The concept that corporate America might even start working interchangeably with the government of the United States to the point where everybody in the United States is desperately clinging on to things that they do not own and are completely washed away of their own individuality, because at the end of the day, it's all just worthless ones and zeros for companies to continuously mine profit from individuals. You see, if done properly, I feel like this could be somewhat of a bizarro 1984 type storyline. Maybe an overall plot where the story focuses on a group of people, or maybe even society as a whole, who has willfully gone into this vegetative state, continuously living in the metaverse and completely shedding themselves of their real life. It's definitely a story where you can make some legitimate generational arguments. As an American Horror Story fashion, you can set this within a family of 3 generations. The younger generation having lived with this reality pretty much for their entire life and just live with it as if there's nothing wrong with there. The oldest generation adopting it despite generally hating everything about the younger generation's acceptance of it, and the true legitimate horror is the middle generation coming to terms with it and slowly being engulfed in this new reality that is America. Of course, I wouldn't be shocked if Ryan Murphy and co decided to do this story for an episode of American Horror Stories, but I feel like something as nuanced as this doesn't just deserve 30 or 40 minutes, it really deserves multiple episodes. Maybe not an entire season though. If they decide to do another double feature-like storyline, this would be perfect for half a season. But guys, what are your thoughts on this? I really think it's a fun idea. I think it's pretty scary, and I think it could be a lot more nuanced than what we typically get from American Horror Story. But I want to hear all y'all's thoughts and opinions in the comments below. It's been real.